Hi, today I'm going to show you the demonstration of binary data flow in Node.js, which is a very important concept in a programming language or in a computer technology as well. So you need to know how the data is being flowed from one point to another point in a real time or in a whatever time. That does not matter, but you should need to know how the data is being flowed from one point to another point. So basically, the programming or coding is just as an act of uh, binary data flowing from one point to another point. If you deep dive into anything in any business or in anything that is related to the technology, so it's just uh, dealing with the binary data. So this is the most important aspect you need to understand. So here I am going to explain you the most important factor that by which you can get better knowledge about how the binary data is flowing. So I am using a Node.js to show the demonstrations of binary data flow. You can use any other language as well. There is no rush. So you can use your own language, like if you are familiar with Java, then you can use Java, C++, C, Python, whatever language you are using. So here Node.js make it more efficient to demonstrate those concepts. So here I am demonstrating that. So I think you will get some important insights from this. So without without making delay, so let's start. So in this video I am going to talk about the four things. One is the buffer, another is streams, and another is fs, which is basically file system module in nodejs. So I am assuming that you already have knowledge about nodejs to understand this high level high level concept. So these are just modules in nodejs. If you don't know, then you can go and search on the internet or use some chatbot as well. So fs file systems, and we will talk about later. This is the http and net servers as well. So we will talk about this later. First of all, we need to focus on these buffer, streams, and file system. So let's know about a little bit about what binary data. So what is binary data? Binary data. Binary data means bonds of zeros and ones. If you are a computer student, then you are well aware of these things. So it's just zeros and ones. Thus combinations of zeros and ones binary data means. Because the computer only deals with zero and ones. Why is that? It only understands those things. Either it is off or on. That's why. So let's uh, take an example to understand. Example of binary data is that like 0001. It's 0001110001. So these are the binary numbers, and we can also say that these are the binary data, right? Which is stored in memory, right? Which is stored in memory. which is stored in memory, right? So these binary data can be stored as uh, can be stored as image files, images, videos, audios, or whatever, all files, audio files, right? So all files that exist, all files can be just a representation of binary data, right? So it's a just a bunch of binary values, zeros and ones, and each set of files have their own set of rules or a procedure to store the binary data in a format. So image does have their own format. So we cannot just store the randomly the zeros and ones there, right? So it's have some format like a JPEG, PNG. So it does have some encoding and decoding algorithms to store the binary data, right, to show the images, and it same goes for the videos and audio files as well. So it does have their own algorithms for storing the binary data in a structured way, right? So let's just not deep dive into this. I think you just have some higher level of insights on this as well. So first of all, so each files have these things, uh, buffer, streams, and fs files. Fs, which is a file systems that we can deal with that, right? So let's say mm, we do have images, and images, what we have early said, it just of a it just a bunch of zeros and ones in a shortened pattern, right, stored in a memory. Hmm? So let's it's a buffer. So just start from a basics. We are not going deep dive into these images, videos, or audio files, right? Because there is a lot of uh, binary data in their image and videos. So for a simple demonstration, I am going to use string data type, hello, right? So here, so as a buffer. So let's start with the concept one buffer. So what is a buffer? Hmm? So buffer is just uh, we can say that just what a bucket that holds the binary data in memory. Where? In memory, right? So it's just a container for storing the zeros and ones, right? And streams. So what what is the streams? So before understanding the streams, let's cover this fs. So what is file systems? So file system is basically uh, reading, writing the files to the disk or into some storage. So a file system is that can manage the data, that able to write, that to read or delete as well, right? So basically we can say that it does operations on those data, right? And let's go into the streams. We can say that the fs is just read, write, and save those files into some safe storage as well. So here the streams, streams is basically means what? It is something continuous flow, right? So in computer science or in a programming languages, in programming, there is a big problem. We can say that it's not a big like that, but it's a problem. So we can there if there is a big data, right? So we cannot just directly load those data into a program in a memory directly. So let's say that if you have a RAM of 8 GB or 4 GB and you have a data of 8 GB, right? To do the operations, if you directly load those data 8 GB into your 4 GB memory, then it will collapse, overflow, and program crashes because it cannot able to handle that, right? Because it's only a 4 GB RAM and you are putting 8 GB of data, it's not good, right? So there so where the streams comes in action. So it loads those data, right? Loads the binary data, large binary data, we can say that, uh, large binary data, uh, piece by piece, or we can say that uh, piece by piece, or in a chunk, which is supported by the operation, which is supported by the operating system, and do the operations continuously until the data until the all data operations have finished, right? And so let's I think you have a we have get some knowledge about buffer streams and fns. So let's get into the specific one by one. So buffer here, we can make for a demonstrations for what buffer looks like. We early say that the buffer is just a container for a binary data. So it just if we console it, it's just a binary numbers, zeros and ones, right? So let's see, is that correct or not? So if you make a buffer here variable, it's loaded into the memory, make some memory allocations, right? And store the mm, binary data of these string which we have passed here, hello. We can pass anything, images, videos, audio files, whatever, but for a simple demonstration we are using the string data only. So here let's console this. Buff, so buff here, okay, right? So buffer, okay, run this binary data flow, okay. So here, this is the console of that hello buffer. So you said that earlier you have said it's just a combination of 0 and 1s. So it should console the 0 and 1s as well. But there is a 60 or 65, 60. What does that mean? So basically what happens here is that it while displaying the buffer, it does display into a hexadecimal representation. So we can say that this is just a hexadecimal representation of hello, right? So but in the memory actual, it's a, we can say it's a binary, right? It's just a 0 and 1. So while displaying for easy reading, uh, it's a display in a hexadecimals, that's why. So the buffer is a something that's uh, available into a memory which holds the binary data. And let's talk about the streams. So if we do have a large binary data, then it helps us to load the data smoothly and efficiently, even if you have a small amount of RAM in your laptop or in your computer desktop or in your server or whatever, right? So let's see the stream. So how does these streams work, right? So basically, again define the streams. Streams allow reading or writing binary data piece by piece rather than loading the entire content in memory. So streams does have a types, right? So readable, writable, or those are duplex and transform as well. So readable means it's a source of data. Writable means destination of data. So where the data is going. Readable means where the data from where the data is coming. Duplex means the streams that can be act as both readable and writable. It is a source and it is the destination as well, right? So transform. So while passing through the streams, while loading the data through the streams, we can modify that data as well. So that's where the transform comes in action, right? So let's see that streams. So streams comes from so low. Let's see the streams. So streams, there is a lot of noise. I'm sorry guys about this, but again we are talking about the streams. We are talking about the streams. So we have four types of streams, which is readable. Sorry, readable, writable, duplex, and transform, right? And transform. So readable is just where the source of data. Writable means where do you want to write those data, right? And duplex means the same things can be act as readable and readables. And transform means you can get the data from one point and pass to the another point, while you can modify this data in real time. So let's say that we do have one image, hmm, image one, right? And we want to send that image to another place. So and another place. So how could you do that? Right, by using stream. Hmm? Because and there is a problem is that image one is very large, so you need to handle efficiently, right? So let's say, so we have image one. So where is image one is stored? In your file system. So to load the data we need a file system. So import fs from fs, which is a file systems module provided by the nodejs, right? So first of all, we need to create the stream, readable stream or writable streams, that what we can say the source and the destinations. So const, this is the read stream. So fs what, read, read stream. So create read streams. So we need a file image. So let's see we do have or not. Node.js diagram. We do have Node.js diagram. Okay, this is the file we do have. Just copy the name. Okay, and paste here. Okay, we do have this. And const write stream. So this is the destination. So fs uh, create write stream. So newly created diagram.png, right? So now it's all create, it's all done. we do have a source, and we do have destination destinations, but the source and destinations are not connected to each other. So how these things are being handled? So we need to make a connections, right? So the connection can be made by the pipe, that's which is provided by the stream class as well. So read streams and write stream just are object of, we can say that, stream class. So we need to pass the data from read stream to the write stream by using pipe. This is the simplest one. Read stream, we can make pipe, and through that pipe I want to pass the read stream to the write stream, which is the destination, right? So let's check. Okay, we are done now. So there is no image like newly created image. So run this first of all, and we can just run, yeah, here. So it's created the same image, right? It's the same image we have passed, but we have passed through it streams, right? So this is the just a basic demonstration of how the streams works, right? And another thing is that we can also do to another way to send the data from source to the destination by using the events, right? As the Node.js is heavily relied on on events, so it's a class provided by the Node.js, which is an event emitter, right? So every class is in a Node.js just inherit this event emitter class. So if some events happen, then something will some callbacks some callback is used to do some work after some events have cleared the work. That's why. So event emitter. So it's and so this is about the pipe, and another way of doing is that by using the events, right? So Node.js is heavily relied on events, which is an event-based environment. So event Node.js provides the event emitter, so which works based on the event, right? So event emitter is a class which is inherited by the all other classes as well. So we can say that it is as a top as a top class, right? Which is also inherited by the streams as well. It because it is a top, so every class exists is inherited this event emitter. So it's obvious that read streams and write streams the does have those event classes and functions. So there is a read stream. This is a read stream object, and we this have event, and this does have events classes. So on which accept events. So there is a bunch of events that can happen. So while read streams provide close data in error, open, pause, readable, read, and resume, something like that. So first of all, we are only going to deal with the data in and error, and we will talk about all other later. So first of all, while read streams read the data from that image, then we can pass those data we can pass those data to what we say to the destinations. So there is a callback function which saved the data as well, and here, so we can write the strings now. So now we do have data available by the read streams source. Now we can write to the destination without using the pipe. So it's what we call event based. So write stream dot write, and we can pass that data. That's it. And let's make it modify this as main1, and handle all other things as well. Read streams dot on int. So after completion of this, we can just we can in the stream write stream dot int, right? And after write stream dot int, then there is another event which is called, so we need to provide a listener for that, and console like uh, file is written successfully, and also we need to handle one of the error. If something happens, if those files no, don't if those files have some errors, right, or those files does not exist, then it will catch those error, and what, and throw these events error. And for this we need to provide a listener. So now it's saying we do have an error, so what would you like to do? So I'm not going to do anything, so I'm just awaiting that there is error occurred. So hello, there is a error, you need to fix that, thank you. So also for mm, okay, let's now run this. Let's see if it does the same things as a pipe or not. So it's basically more clear and crystal, as there is no conflictions, right? So it's only write the data while the data is available in the read strings, right? So it makes sure it's in a more controllable way. Now run this. Yeah, file written is successfully. So it's a event. Which event is this? This one, finish event. Just say that file is written successfully, means there is a no error at all. So let's see if that file is created or not. So here we have modified the name of the destination, so we have added one. So this is the newly created one. So like it's the exact the same one, right? So we do have done successfully, we have done this successfully, streaming from one source to the another source, right, by sending the data from one point to another point by using the read streams, right? So now let's talk about the fs module. So till now we do have a grasp knowledge about the fs systems, right? So fs is the file systems which manages the files in a storage disks, right? So it does provide a bunch of operations that can be done on that files as well. So we can use the file module to load the files in memory, right? And load the files in memory, and modify those files, save that files, right? and doing the things locally with the files. So we can use the file systems. So there is a bunch of what we can say that there is bunch of methods for file systems. So here let's go with the file systems one. So it's a module provided by the nodejs, which is built in. So import fs from fs. So we have already imported fs here, right? So we don't need to import again. So we can get load the file from storage to the memory. So how could we do that, right? So how could we do that? We need to understand that first. So there is a two way to load the files from the storage to the memory in memory. So while we can say that there is a synchronous synchronous way, and another is async way asynchronous way, right? So the both methods is provided by the file systems. The both function is provided by the file systems, so we can access directly without doing much hassle. So fs, there is a read files read file sync, right? So read file syncs, what it does is that it read the file asynchronously, right? So read the file syncs, maybe what we can say that the same file we can write. So it's we can load whichever files we want. We can just load this one, nodejs class.md. Let's see what happens. Just copy the name and paste it here, right? So these are the options. So what we need to pass. So how we are going to read that files, like in a UTF format or something, or a ASCII format. So basically the UTF format is used. So UTF, there is a bunch of, you can just go and check it out. So I'm just going with the UTF-8, and that's it. And now we can just close this one, and this one return const, this one return the node.js class md, right? So it's just a type of string. So let's console what happens, then we'll talk other things about later. I know the code is not clear, I'm just explaining the concept here. So console.log node.js class md. So it's actually here, 1 minute. So here we have successfully printed the text from that md file, right? We can see that here. So this is the exact text from that file. So we can again cross verify it. This one, the exactly uh, console in terminal, right? So this is how we can load the data file into our memory, right? And by using the encoding or some pattern, we can just modify that into any representation, like. So if we don't provide the UTF-8 like this one, then what will happen? Let's see here. what? It just printed the bonds of the buffer. So it just provided you the what? Provide you the buffer. So we have previously explained about what is a buffer. Buffer is just bunch of ones and zeros, right? But the human being cannot read those bonds of zeros and ones. So that's why there is some certain patterns to help the human to understand the data. What data? What is what is that data and the meaning of those things? So here, so by seeing this, we can say that this is good one, right? So it's talking about the C++ JS engine and all other its inherited classes, objects, Node.js, and on over that, Node.js added the classes like event emitter, which further extended by stream, which further extended at the readable, readable. Hmm. So this is all about the representations, right? So I have saw you the demonstrations of how the things works here. So if we don't provide the way we want the representation of those binaries data, it just gives us the bunch of zeros and ones only, right? So if we know that this is a string, like we have seen in this Node.js class MD, and we want the data in the same representations, we need to provide the way the binary data needs to be interpreted, right? So we can use the UTF-8 encodings. So it's encoded the binary data into a human readable format, right? So let's see. As previously you have seen that, but again see that here. Those buffer are just displayed as a string, so it's more readable, right? That's why we need some structures or patterns. So these are the algorithms encoding and decoding the binary data. Same goes here. I have previously explained about the images, videos, and audio files, right? So guys, this is all about today. uh, Today's we will cover all remaining topics in a next video. So thank you. Keep watching videos and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Arigato gozaimasu.